It's always a good day when motorcycle parts show up in the mail, and today got the Klock Werks DynaMat Sound Control Kit. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in my 2019 Road Glide Special here and see how well it works. Step one is make sure that we have all the parts. So I got everything laid out here, including my free Klock Werks sticker, and we're all set to go. We got all the pieces. So now next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the fairing and clean it up. Harley's made it pretty easy to take off the fairings on the new Road Glides. So the first step is we're going to pop off these 4 windshield screws. Next, you just pop off this top piece here, and then you disconnect the signals here and here. The next step is removing the 2 sets of torque screws on either side of the fairing near the bottom. Next, you need to remove the speaker grills, which if you're a professional, you'll have a pick tool and you'll put it in here and pop it off. If you're like me, an unprofessional, you'll carefully use a flathead screwdriver and pop it off. Now that both speaker grills are off, we can get at these bolts right here, which we will loosen and then move to the final step. The final step is to remove these 2 screws here on either side of the signals, and then the fairing will come off. All right, so the next step is really important. We need to clean both this part of the fairing here as well as the inside of the fairing to make sure that the DynaMat pieces adhere to the plastic. So I'm gonna go and wipe everything down and then let it dry a little bit. Now that I've got the fairing off and clean and propped up in this super professional manner, the next step is to put the DynaMat pads on there. So as you can see, both Klock Werks and DynaMat provided a pretty easy identification and instruction sheet of exactly where everything needs to go. So this should be pretty easy. All right, I got the first layer of the inside of the fairing done. These large pieces right here were the most challenging because you got a number of different things in the way. It's got to fit there against the lip for the headlight, up here to the bolt bracket's got to fit underneath there, and then you kind of have to avoid these wings and also the edge where it seals against the inner fairing, and then that piece down there. So those 2 pieces were the most challenging. But everything else went on pretty smoothly, so happy with that. So next is these 3 pieces here, which are going to adhere here, here, and up here. So here you go. That's what it looks like. All right, there's 4 more pieces. 2 go on this side, 2 go on the other side, and then we're all ready to go and start putting things back together. Well, there we go. That's all the pieces. So now we're going to put it back together. All right, everything's back on. It's all good to go. So now it's time to go take a test ride and see how it works. I will say the one thing that to be very careful of, especially when you're starting to put everything back on, is that padding, the thicker pad that goes on the top here, that has to be back a little bit. If you put it too far forward, the fairing is not going to fit back in place. So you got to make sure that it's back a little bit. But once you do that, everything fit perfectly. So it's we're ready to roll and go test it out. So I took it out on a little bit of a run and got it up on the freeway, and definitely could tell a difference in sound quality from my run before I put the DynaMat pads on there from Klock Werks. So overall, pretty happy with how it just helped with that distortion. You know, it was definitely, music was definitely clear, and especially as I got up onto the freeway, it just felt and sounded a lot better. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this upgrade, and you know, it only took me less than an hour to do it all. So pretty awesome. Excited to get out and do some more riding today.